Hi guys! If you're watching this video, then you've either applied for this course already or are seriously thinking of applying, in which case you should do it as soon as possible because not only will you have the best time of your life, but also because there's a 1 or 2 years wait list, so the sooner you apply, the sooner you get to do the course. अच्छा वैसे तो ये वीडियो मैंने इंग्लिश में बनाई है लेकिन मैंने इसमें हिंदी सबटाइटल्स ऐड किए हैं तो आपको चाहिए तो वो आप स्विच ऑन कर सकते हो. Okay then, I did my basic mountaineering course in June 2019 from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi, which is in Uttarakhand, India. And my batch was an all-girls batch. It went on for 28 days. And the reason why I'm making this video is because when I was preparing for the course, there was very little information available on the internet. And I was absolutely clueless. I had no idea how to fill the medical form. I had no idea what to pack. I had no idea what workouts to do to get physically fit. Honestly, this was my biggest fear because I had heard all these stories that if you can't keep up, then they give you a B grade and you can't do the advanced level and you can't even repeat the basic level, and that most of the people quit in the middle because they just can't take it anymore. So I was basically losing my mind, okay? So don't worry, I know exactly how you're feeling. There's no need to panic because I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know before you go for a basic mountaineering course. Alright then, here's everything we're going to talk about today. About the course and course schedule, how much does this course cost, how to apply, medical form, list of things provided by the institute, list of things that you need to carry, reaching and returning from the institute, food arrangements, and yes, I'll be talking about the biggest and the most important thing, physical fitness and certification and grades. I'll also be giving you a bunch of random tips here and there, and there'll be a little bit of girls talk at the very end of this video. So do watch this video till the end. There's a lot of important information in here that I really wish I knew before I went for my course. So I'm sure it'll help you out a lot. So let's begin. About the course and course schedule. Basic Mountaineering Course, like the name suggests, teaches you the basics of mountaineering. You'll be training on rock, ice, and snow, and side by side you'll have lectures on stuff like history of mountaineering, avalanches, first aid, and stuff like that. Usually the course goes on for 24 to 28 days depending on the institute, and the schedule also varies from one batch to another. I'll just go over the general schedule at NIM quickly so that later on if I'm referring to something in particular, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Our day would start at about 4:30 a.m. and end by like 9 p.m. So out of the 28 days, the first 2 days was introduction. They did a medical checkup and gave us equipment and all, and we got divided into groups of 7 to 8 people from different states. Each group was called a rope, and every rope was allotted a rope instructor. Every rope would stay together in one room at the hostel and later on in one tent. The next 9 days was rock craft. On some days we were in the institute itself. We had physical exercise in the morning followed by artificial rock climbing and lectures. On rest of the days we went to Tekla to do natural rock climbing. It is 10 kilometers away from the institute and it takes about 2 hours to trek till there, but we would come back by bus. Some days we came back the same day and some days we stayed at Tekla overnight. For the next 14 days we had to move to the mountains for icecraft and snowcraft training. It took 3 days of continuous trekking to reach the base camp. On the way, we halted at different camps for the night. We stayed at the base camp for the next 9 days, and every morning we hiked to the training area for icecraft or snowcraft training and came back the same day. It took about 1 or 2 hours to reach, and one day we had height gain. We had to attain an altitude of 15,200 feet in a single day. The next day we had a test on ropes and knots, and the day after that we started our return trek from base camp and reached NIM the next day. On the last 3 days, we had a written exam, graduation ceremony, and then dispersal. Now that I've explained the basic format of this course, let's talk about how much does this course cost. The course fees is somewhere between 15 to 17,000 depending on the institute and the year in which you do the course. It includes the cost of training, equipment, food, and accommodation for 28 days. Now let me tell you how to apply for this course. Before you apply, make sure you check the age limit, which is mostly around 16 to 40 years for most of the batches. There are no other training requirements, special criteria or selection process before applying to the institute, but make sure that you're healthy in general, that you have no major diseases, heart problems, or have not had any injury or surgery in the recent past. Because the course is physically challenging and demanding, and you need to be in your best, most healthy condition in order to successfully complete the course. Also, if you speak only Hindi or only English, then you should contact the institute and check the language of instruction of the course beforehand. Because at NIM, most of the lectures and demos are done in Hindi and there were a few students who could not understand Hindi, so there was an instructor who was dedicated to teaching them in English. Now coming back to the admission process, first you need to check the earliest available batch of the institute of your choice. The most popular institutes have a waitlist of about 1 to 2 years, so if you apply and pay now, you'll get a confirmed seat 1 or 2 years later. Usually the earliest batch is mentioned on the website. If it is not, or if you want to confirm that availability, then you can call or email the institute. Contact details are mentioned on the website itself. You can even ask them if there have been any cancellations in the upcoming batch or if you can come earlier for the course. Every institute has a different admission process, which is mentioned on the website. Read it carefully and follow it step by step. You can either apply online, fill in the details and upload your photo, Aadhaar card, medical form and indemnity form and pay online. For any other institute, if the facility is not available, then you have to download the application form and submit it along with the medical form, course fee and age proof certificate and any other required documents as mentioned on the website and send it to the institute by post. The course fees can be sent by demand draft, NEFT, online payment or whichever other method is mentioned in the admission procedure. In a few days, you will get a confirmation call or email. If you don't get it or have any other queries regarding the application procedure, you can always contact the institute. Now, a lot of you have lots of questions about the medical form. Even I was very confused when I was applying because it looks so complicated. But let me just tell you, there's nothing to worry about. It's just a basic formality to make sure that you're generally healthy. This is the medical form provided by Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, and this is how you have to go about it. Do you see this entire lab section in the form? You need to get some urine and blood tests done to fill this part. So first, go directly to a pathology lab or a hospital and tell them you need to get urine and blood tests done for everything written only in the lab section. They will tell you which tests you need to do. Once you have got the tests done and you get the reports, take those reports along with this medical form to your family doctor or a general physician. He or she will just have to put the values from the test reports into the lab section of the form. For the rest of the sections, they have to generally examine you, and if they find everything normal and find you fit and healthy, then they just have to put normal everywhere. And wherever values are to be put like weight, height, etc., there they have to check and put the correct values. After that, they will just sign it and stamp it and give it to you, and then you are done. That's all you have to do. Remember that you'll have to get this form filled twice. Once at the time of application and once when you're actually leaving for the course. And when you reach the institute, they'll take this form from you and then you'll have to undergo a very basic rudimentary medical checkup wherein they'll just check your BP and pulse and stuff like that. Moving on to the list of things provided by the institute. Remember that all of these items have to be returned to the institute in the same condition. If you lose any of these items, then you'll have to pay for it. Also, some people might try to steal each other's equipment when they lose theirs so that they don't have to pay, especially in case of mess tins and mugs. So keep your things carefully. Now, I know a lot of you have down jackets and sleeping bags and are maybe thinking of carrying it. But this is the down jacket that I had carried and I didn't use it because the jackets and sleeping bags that they provide are a lot warmer. So I just used that. Now let me come to the backpack. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about that. First of all, it does not matter which backpack or suitcase you bring to the institute because it'll just be kept in your room anyway. And the backpack that you will take to Tekla and to the mountains will be the one given to you by the institute. When you leave for the mountains, you will only carry the things you need in that rucksack and you will put all your other things in your bag and leave it behind at the institute itself. Now, this rucksack is a 100-liter rucksack which is really big with big side pockets and it is quite good except the padding on the shoulders is not that great. The shoulders really start to hurt while trekking, so if you have a backpack that is 90 to 100 liters, then you can bring it and actually take it to the mountains. Nothing less than 90 to 100 liters because I took my backpack that was 70 liters, but all the things were not fitting in it, so I couldn't take it to the mountains. Please get it only if you already have it at home. Don't go and buy one specially for this course because the ones they have are not that bad. I mean, that's what we used and we managed fine in the end. Okay, now before we move on to the list of things that you need to carry from home, let me explain the whole situation a little bit. So for the first 11 days when you will be on campus, there will be washing and bathing facility. Like there are actually ropes where you can hang your clothes to dry. But you might want to avoid washing clothes as much as you can because first of all, you'll be really tired all the time and you will barely get any free time. And the little time that you do get, you just want to relax. So I suggest you carry as many clothes, undergarments and socks as you can so that you don't have to wash them again and again. Any which ways you can bring as much luggage as you like to the institute because like I said, your bag will be kept in your room anyway. So there's no harm in carrying extra, right? I mean, just in case. However, when you move to the mountains, the instructors will be telling you exactly what you need to carry. So don't carry anything extra. You will really regret it while walking because your bag will weigh 18 kgs. And on top of that, each group gets a 4 kg rope to carry among themselves turn by turn. In the mountains, obviously there will be no bathing facility and washing should genuinely be avoided. First of all, the water is too cold. You will not want to put your hands in it. And secondly, the weather is quite unpredictable, so drying clothes is really hard. So this is the list of things that you need to carry from home. It is given by NIM itself. You will find most of these items in Decathlon, which is where I have purchased most of the things from. So most of the items in this list are self-explanatory. I'll just talk about a few of them. In case of t-shirts, undergarments and socks, like I said, it all depends on how often you want to change them and how often you want to wash them. If some of the t-shirts and pants are of the dry fit material, that will be nice because it dries fast in case it gets wet, and it's also better when you are sweating. Also, although it says trek pants here, I would like to mention that even if you don't buy special trek pants, it is completely fine. Any track pants, joggers or activewear trousers do exactly the same job. They are equally comfortable, maybe even more. And in case of trek suit, this is what it looks like. Now, we were also confused about this before going, so we had called the institute and asked. So they said that it basically means full sleeves t-shirts and track pants that does the same work as a trek suit, so you don't need to specially buy a matching trek suit. Just carry t-shirts and track pants instead and you'll be fine. For warm full sleeves shirt and trousers, this is what I had carried. For heavy woolen pullover, this is what I had carried, but you can carry any warm pullover. Also, keep in mind that sleeveless and shorts is not allowed for both girls and boys. For torch, if you have a head torch, then get that because it will be a lot more convenient. And for woolen socks, this is what I had carried and it was quite warm. In case of thermals, waterproof gloves and woolen gloves, I had used only one of each, but if you think you might lose it or you just want to keep an extra one, then you can carry two of each. I would recommend poncho over a raincoat as it covers the bag also, it is longer so you don't need bottoms, and it is also much lighter. So even in case of eatables, you can get dry fruits and dry snacks from home if you want. And when you move to the mountains, they will also be giving you candies, dry fruits, biscuits and chocolates, and that's more than enough for those 14 days. Toiletries. Apart from toothbrush, toothpaste, there's bathing soap and shampoo and conditioner. You can even get sachets, that's easier to manage. But this is obviously only for the institute. For the mountains, you can carry face wash, carry moisturizer and lip balm for sure. You can even carry paper soap or a Dettol squeezy. You will need it to wash your hands. And we had to wash our mess tins on our own up in the mountains and also at Tekla. And most of the times there was no soap. So you can just use your paper soap for that also. Girls carry comb, extra rubber bands and pins to tie your hair properly during activities. If you want, you can tie your hair in pleats for the mountains to keep your hair set and free of knots. Lots of girls cut their hair short before coming, so they don't have to worry about it. Okay, now let's come to trekking shoes. I'm going to spend a little time on this one because it is really important. I would recommend getting a good quality high ankle shoe. They provide better balance and good ankle support because this happens a lot while trekking. And an ankle injury is the last thing you want on a 28-day long mountaineering course. Also, shoes that are waterproof or water resistant will really help because it rains often and shoes don't dry easily. This is the shoe I had carried. It is from Decathlon. The quality was great, but it was just too expensive. You can either go for this or Decathlon has a lot more options for high ankle waterproof hiking shoes that are a lot cheaper. And if you are looking for something in an even lower range, I would highly recommend Action trekking shoes. They cost just about 1000 rupees. They have a high ankle version, and although it doesn't say water resistant, I have worn it in light rains and I've had no problems as such. It is currently unavailable online. Usually you get them in local shoe shops near any station, so you can try your luck. Lastly, if you're buying new shoes, then wear them 3 to 4 times on a short hike before you go for the course. Break into them so that you don't get shoe bites during the course. Also, if you are carrying high ankle shoes, you really want to get longer socks because it protects your skin from friction and shoe bites. You will also obviously have to carry the required documents, that is the medical form, copy of Aadhaar card and age proof certificate. And you don't have to carry the medical reports with you, just the medical form is enough, and also some money. You won't need a lot of it after you reach the institute because everything is included in the fees. You can just keep some extra money in case you want to buy something from the souvenir shop like an NIM sweatshirt or cap, or to eat at the canteen. You'll have to pay about 200 for insurance, and if you want to buy photographs of the graduation ceremony, then I think that costs about 100 rupees, and obviously the money you need to travel back home. Apart from that, if you want to make any calls from base camp using the satellite phone, that costs about 50 rupees per minute because there is no network at base camp. And while we're on this topic, let me tell you that there is no network at all at Tail Camp and Gujar Hut either. But at the institute and at Tekla, there is complete network for almost all SIM cards. Also, from the satellite phone, you will only get to make one call, that too every alternate day. You don't have to pay for that at the base camp. You have to pay at the institute once you come back down. And at the base camp, you don't really need money, but just in case, keep like 100 to 200 rupees with you. Overall, carry as little cash and valuables as you can because theft may take place around you. You can even carry a lock for extra safety. And NIM also gives you an option to deposit your cash and valuables with them at the main office. Do not skip anything from this list, it's all very important. But in case you forget anything at all, then there is a shop in the NIM campus itself where you will get everything that you need for this course. From detergent, shampoo sachets to dark goggles and caps, chips, chocolates, everything. In addition to everything that we just discussed, here is a list of extra things that you can carry. It's not compulsory, but I think it might help. Running shoes. If you are carrying high ankle trekking shoes, then although they are great for trekking, running in them can be a bit uncomfortable. So if you want, carry an extra pair of running shoes for the institute for the days you have physical exercise in the morning. Slippers. You are strictly not allowed to wear anything other than your shoes anywhere in the institute. So if you want something for your room or the bathroom, then you can take slippers. Bags. You should carry 2 big extra polythene bags or biodegradable dustbin bags because when you go for icecraft and snowcraft training, you will only be asked to take some particular things in the backpack and rest of the things you will have to leave behind in your tent. So you can keep the rest of the things separately in these extra bags. It'll help you to keep things organized. That way you don't have to empty your rucksack every morning before you go for training. Power bank and phone charger. There's charging in the institute in your own room, but at Tekla, Tail Camp and Gujar Hut, there's no charging. At base camp, you can charge your phone in the lecture hall, but you don't get a lot of time to do it, and there are way too many people waiting in line to charge their phone, so you may not get a chance. Having a good power bank will definitely help. Multi-purpose scarf. Like you can see, it has many uses and it can be quite helpful. Antifungal powder. This is to prevent rashes or infection and reduce smell given that you'll be sweating and won't be bathing for 14 days straight in the mountains. My feet used to get smelly, so I used to sprinkle it in my socks and shoes every night before sleeping to reduce the smell. Get some ORS and some very basic medicines because the medical in charge is always there and they have all the medical supplies. Hydration bladder. You can just drink water from this while walking. You don't have to stop and take out your bottle if you want water. It really helps when you are thirsty and there is no rest stop, but don't skip carrying a water bottle just because you are carrying the hydration pack because for lectures and all you'll need your bottle only. Apart from that, there's detergent, tissues, wet wipes, a napkin and deodorant. And also I thought I'll mention that during our batch, they never gave us time to go down to the market to buy anything. They said that whatever you need, just buy from the NIM shop itself. So in case you want to withdraw any cash or something, withdraw it before coming to the institute. There is an ATM at the main market of Uttarkashi. Reaching and returning from the institute. Before I talk about this, I just want to tell you about this Facebook group called Nehru Institute of Mountaineering Fan Club. You can use it to get in touch with your batchmates. You can even create a WhatsApp group and post a link for everyone to join because it'll really help you to solve your doubts and then you can even coordinate and travel together. Now the institute is situated in Uttarkashi and you need to reach the institute one day before the start date of the course. You can reach by late evening also, it's not a problem. The closest railway station is Dehradun or Rishikesh and the closest airport is the Jolly Grant Airport, Dehradun. Or else you can even take a bus from Delhi to Dehradun or Rishikesh. These buses are quite frequent and affordable. From Dehradun or Rishikesh, you have to go to Uttarkashi by road, which takes roughly about 6 to 7 hours. Lots of buses go from Parade Ground in Dehradun and Natraj Chowk in Rishikesh that cost about 300 per person. I would suggest that you reach Dehradun or Rishikesh in the morning or the previous night because it's a lot easier to get buses and taxis in the morning. You can also take a share taxi or coordinate with your batchmates beforehand and travel together in a pre-booked jeep and split the cost. It may cost anywhere between 500 to 1000 per person. Once you reach Uttarkashi, NIM buses are arranged to take you to the institute. They go from Hotel Bhandari at the Uttarkashi bus stand every 3 to 4 hours. And on the last day of the course, there's nothing happening at all. In fact, you get completely free one day before only. The dispersal is at 6 in the morning, right after tea. The NIM bus drops you to the main market of Uttarkashi and from there you can easily take a bus to Dehradun or Rishikesh or you can even pre-book a taxi and ask the driver to pick you up from the institute itself. Food arrangements. The food is simple, healthy, and home style. It's usually North Indian food like dal rice or roti sabzi. And for most of the meals, there's an option for non-vegetarians like egg, chicken, or mutton. And for vegetarians, there's extra paneer, cheese, or butter. They even give you fruits, tea, and juices from time to time. And sometimes there's fancy stuff like pasta, gulab jamun, or halwa. So overall, the food arrangements are quite good. Now, coming to the most awaited topic, physical fitness. Physical fitness is very important for this course. If you are physically fit, then it'll obviously have a good impact on your grades, but you'll also be able to enjoy the course a lot more. See, if you're not prepared, you won't have a good time. You'll feel like you're not being able to cope up. You'll feel like everyone else is doing it. Why am I not being able to do it? And then that's not a good feeling, It just really brings your morale down. So prepare and go. It'll all be good. It'll all be a lot easier for you and you'll have a lot more fun. Ideally, start preparing 6 months early, but if not 6, then at least 3 months early. And here are a few things that you can do to get fit. Work on stamina, this is the most important. Try running 5 kilometers in 30 minutes. I used to use one of those apps that measure how many kilometers you can run in how many minutes. And on the first day, I just did how much I could. And then every day, I would try to reduce my time as compared to the day before. In the beginning, you can alternate between brisk walking and jogging, and then eventually running. Also, practice running uphill if possible, and you can even do cycling or swimming. Work on legs, upper body, and core strength. All of this really helps you to be able to carry the weight of your backpack and go uphill. It also helps to perform better in rock climbing and icecraft and stuff. You can check on YouTube for specific exercises for all three because all are really important. You will find many exercises, and as you get better with time, you can even try different variations. Some important exercises are squats, Surya Namaskar, push-ups, crunches, planks, calf raises, pull-ups, and mountain climbers. If you are doing all these exercises for the first time, then you can learn how to do them correctly on YouTube to avoid injuries and to get the best results. Walking with extra load. You can practice walking with a heavy backpack. You can fill it with bricks, books, or anything else that's heavy. You can start with about 7 to 8 kgs and then go up to 18 kgs. You can even increase the time that you are walking for. And if you can practice going uphill with a backpack, that will be really helpful. You can also practice some breathing exercises. It'll help in increasing lung capacity. If there is any artificial rock climbing wall near you, then you can go and practice there. This is not a requirement, this is just optional. If you are new to physical activity, then start slow. First see how much your body can do, and then every day just try to do more than what you did yesterday. Also, rest days are very important. Keep one day in a week where you are not doing any physical activity at all. You can probably do running or any other cardio exercises on 3 days and strength exercises on 3 days. And don't forget to warm up before you start and to stretch and do cool down exercises after you finish. A lot of people ask, do they take any physical fitness test once you reach the institute before accepting you into the course? See, they do expect you to come at least a little prepared because every morning they make you do physical exercises. Like they make you run for 3 to 4 kilometers without any break. And after that, you have strength exercises like push-ups, crunches, squats, along with stretching. So they expect you to do all of this. And along with that, like later on during the course, they also expect you to walk for 15 kilometers with an 18 kg backpack. And if you are lagging in any of this, then they will push you, sometimes nicely, sometimes strictly. And if you are lagging a lot, then they will make a note of it. But yeah, there is no physical fitness test as such. At least during my batch, they didn't take any test. At no point did they say that if you cannot run these many kilometers in these many minutes, or you cannot do these many push-ups, then we will not let you do the course. And yeah, they also never made us run with a backpack. There was no such thing, at least during my batch. So there's no benchmark as such, but that does not mean that you don't prepare and go, because the fitter you are, the easier it will be for you to successfully complete this course. And see, in the initial 3-4 days, it might be hard and your body might hurt, but after that, your body gets used to it. And it actually starts getting better. In fact, you might even lose weight. Believe me, it's the most fun weight loss program ever. Some people actually lose 4 to 5 kgs of weight. While we're on fitness, I would like to mention that fitness at a ground level and fitness at a high altitude are two very different things. At a high altitude, people get tired and breathless really quickly, even by doing a small task. And irrespective of people's fitness, their ability to acclimatize is different. So just because you are physically fit does not mean that there's a less chance of you getting AMS. At a high altitude, stay warm, eat well, and drink plenty of water. And it is also advisable that you've been on at least 1 or 2 high altitude treks in your life before you go for the course, just to see how your body adjusts to the high altitude. And also make sure that your BMI and hemoglobin is normal because it has an impact on your overall health in the mountains. During this course, and especially when you're in the mountains, if you find yourself seriously ill or unable to carry out any of the activities, then please don't hide the signs of illness or discomfort from the instructor, your rope mates, or the doctor just because you want to complete the course in any given condition now that you've already come so far. Because you might be putting yourself at some serious risk and it might really impact your health. Like you know, this is a certified course. On the graduation ceremony, you only get the ISACs. The certificate is sent to your house by post about 2 months after completing the course. You will get a certificate no matter what grade you get, but to qualify for the Advanced Mountaineering course, you need an A grade. And based on my personal experience, I will tell you a few things that I think are likely to have a positive impact on your grades. Physical fitness obviously matters a lot, but mental strength and willpower are also equally important. Having a positive attitude, pushing yourself even though you are tired, and not giving up are traits that are highly valued and will really help you to complete the course successfully. Showing team spirit is highly appreciated, and they are extremely particular about discipline and punctuality. Always try to be 10 minutes before reporting time, but never ever be late. Showing good leadership skills can be an added advantage. Here are a few things that I think may have a negative impact on your grades. Fighting or arguing or disrespecting any instructor or your rope mates. Bad behavior. Skipping an entire activity or giving up. Now this is really important, guys. Attempt all the activities, attend every lecture and every demo. Do everything that they ask you to do. Even if you do it slowly and don't do a brilliant job of it, that's fine, but do it. For example, rappelling from a height or rock climbing. Even if your hand slips and you are not able to climb much, that's completely fine. It's better than not attempting it at all because at least you tried, right? That's what matters. Refusing to do something that is generally expected from all trainees reflects really badly on you. Like giving your backpack to the porter instead of carrying it yourself, or going to Tekla by bus when you are actually supposed to be trekking there along with everyone else. Avoid these things as much as you can. See, if you're seriously unwell and your case is genuine, then it's okay, I guess. But don't skip anything if you have something minor and you can manage it even a little bit. Walk slowly at your own pace, that's fine, but do it. Because the instructors have seen way too many batches and they come to know in a minute when someone's just being lazy or making excuses. See, all of these things they might not come and tell you and they might not push you beyond a point. But just remember that you are being observed all the time. You are expected to be self-motivated and self-aware. Smoking or drinking. First of all, it'll really affect your stamina and overall performance, so try and avoid it before the course. Secondly, it is strictly prohibited, so if anyone is caught doing it, then they will probably be removed from the course immediately. And guys, if you don't do well in one activity, don't get demotivated. That does not mean that you will get a bad grade. Your grade depends on your overall performance in all the activities combined. See, personally, I did okay in rock climbing, but I was low on stamina. When it came to trekking, I was always lagging behind my rope, especially on the day of the height gain. So I was a little worried about my performance and my grades, but in the end, I managed to get a good grade. What I'm trying to say is that it's not like if you are the best at all the activities and you're the leader of the pack, only then you'll get a good grade. As long as you attempt all the activities, don't give up, show sincerity and discipline, and do your personal best, you'll be okay. Because obviously, not everyone is good at everything. Apart from all of this, your grades also depend on your performance in the rope knots test and the written exam. Although the weightage on this is less as compared to your performance in the actual training, but anyway, practice the knots whenever you get time. And also the written exam is quite basic and general, so don't worry about it. And also I had read somewhere that you should learn all the theory and the knots before you come for the course from home. Guys, please don't do that. It's absolutely unnecessary because once you come for the course, they'll teach you everything very nicely. I guess that's all the information that I had to give to you guys. It might be a lot to take in right now and you might be feeling overwhelmed, but I don't intend to scare you guys. I mean, I won't lie to you, the course is tough. You will be outside your comfort zone. You may or may not like your rope mates. You might not get the food of your choice. There will be some good days and there'll be some bad days. But if you give it your best shot and do everything wholeheartedly, then I assure you, you'll have the best time of your life. You'll make some really nice friends and some amazing memories. Personally, I've never experienced anything like this before. And ever since I've come back home, all I wanted to do is to go back and experience it all over again. So go have a lot of fun, cherish every minute of it. It's a once in a lifetime sort of an experience. And I wish you all the very best for it. And if this video has helped you in any way, then please press the like button. It'll make me feel really happy and motivated to know that I could help you guys out. Also, if you want to see what doing a basic mountaineering course feels like, then I have made a video on my entire experience and I will leave a link for you in the description. If you have any other questions, you can ask me in the comment section and I'll definitely get back to you. And you can also contact NIM or any other institute that you're planning to apply to. They will definitely respond to your queries and surely help you out. Boys, that's all for now, and girls, you can hang around for some girls talk. Are the boys gone? Okay, let's start with bras. I would suggest that you don't wear your daily wear bras because they don't provide enough support, but at the same time, you might not want to wear the bras meant for running or dancing because those bras are tighter and more restricting. So it can get a little stuffy and suffocating to wear them all day while trekking or climbing. You can probably take 1 or 2 of those for the initial days when you have running and physical exercise in the institute because trekking is a little more relaxed as compared to running and there's not as much bounce, if you know what I mean. So you can get low or medium impact bras which are a little more comfortable and breathable. For those who have a smaller bust, for the days in the mountains, you can actually skip wearing a bra altogether because you will be wearing so many layers, nobody can tell whether you are even wearing a bra or not. Imagine 14 days without a bra. Sounds like paradise, right? Okay. Let's talk about the biggest problem, periods during a mountaineering course. I thought I'll just tell you that my batch was an all-girls batch and a lot of the girls suddenly started to get irregular periods. The medical in charge of the course said that this is common given that your body has seen a sudden increase in the physical activity and there's a complete change in the schedule, weather and altitude, so this might affect your period. I don't think there's much you can do about it, but I thought I'll just let you know. Anyway, I'm sure you're worried about managing your period in the mountains. And given that this is a month-long course, there's no way to escape it, right? It means that you will definitely get your period at least once during the course. It is still manageable if you get it while you are staying at the institute, but if you get it on one of the days that you are trekking to the base camp, or if you want to change while you are going for height gain or icecraft training, at these times there will be no established toilets around and no proper dustbin to dispose your pad. So you will have to change your pad in the open, like behind the bushes, and you will have to keep your used pad with you in a Ziploc bag till you find a proper place to dispose it. On top of that, you will be walking for hours together on most of the days of the course. It can get really sweaty down there and the pad can cause rashes and it can even get a bit smelly. So I would highly recommend switching to a menstrual cup, at least for this course. Now, I know that a lot of you feel uncomfortable even at the thought of using it, but I request you to have an open mind and hear me out for 2 minutes. The convenience and benefits of a menstrual cup are a lot more than a sanitary napkin or a tampon, at least as far as this course is concerned. You don't have to worry about disposing anything. You can just remove it, empty it, rinse it with water then and there, and put it back in. You don't have to worry about carrying pads with you all the time. With a menstrual cup, the chances of staining are a lot lesser. You also have to change much lesser times than a pad because it can hold a lot more blood. You can sleep in any position and it is so comfortable that you don't even realize you are wearing a cup. Also, there are no rashes and no smell. And if you are still not convinced, then just imagine getting your period on this day. Just imagine doing this while wearing a pad. First of all, my bum got completely wet and a pad would probably get displaced or torn during this activity. Overall, menstrual cups are a lot more convenient and they give you a more hassle-free experience. So give it a thought, find out more about it and then take a call. And if you are convinced, then start using it 2 to 3 months before going for the course because it may take a while to get used to it. And lastly, when you get your period, try not to skip walking or any other activity because see, I got mine on the day we had to trek to Tail Camp and the second day was when we had to trek to Gujar Hut. But I managed somehow and so did all the girls around me and I'm sure you'll do it too. Personally, I think it hurts less when you remain active. I guess that's all I had to say to you guys. Thank you so much for watching and best of luck.